Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is April and this is my very first budgeting video. I'm very nervous. I hope you can't tell in my voice because I'm extremely nervous. It's really funny too because I am not new to YouTube. I'm new to budgeting videos on YouTube, but I'm not new to YouTube. I think it's just that typically with my other channel, it's, just hit record, get down to business, get to work, and that's it. Where this is more fly by the seat of my pants. So anyway, I'm a little bit nervous. So I'm just going to get right into my binders, which is what this video is. It's just an introduction to me and my channel. So I will, first of all, let me start by saying hello. I need to slow down, take a breath. Okay, hello. So a little bit about me first. I live on a farm in the middle of nowhere. When I say farm, I say that very loosely. I have no animals. We have 3 cats. We have 14 wild turkeys that hang out in our yard. Recently, we have ducks, but we have no livestock or anything like that. I just call it a farm because it's 9 acres in the middle of nowhere. So it's basically a farm, a hobby farm. Anyway, so I moved out here with my partner 7 years ago, just a little over 7 years ago. We've been together for 10 years. We are not married, but I will often refer to him as my husband. We just do. I don't know why. We just do. But we are common law. We share a 7-year-old child together. I moved in here just before she was born. And by just before she was born, I mean like I moved in here February 1st and she was born on the 11th. So it was like very last minute, only because we had to rent out the house in order for us to move in. So that's why. Anyway, it's a whole other story. Anyway, I have 3 children. I have my youngest one who is 7, my middle son who is 21. He's from my first marriage, and also my eldest daughter who's 31. And she's married, so I have a bonus son with her, and also 3 grandchildren. So yeah, I have 3 kids, youngest 7, oldest 31, and 3 grandkids. Yeah, so that's about it. I work part-time. My husband works full-time. We both do side hustles on the side to earn a little extra cash. And that's about it. So my first binder. I am a Canadian cash stuffer, so please ignore all the ums, the rights, the likes, and the I'm sorries. It just comes with being Canadian. I'm sorry. See? I totally didn't plan that. Anyway, so this is my first binder. It is my most boring binder, so I'll get it out of the way. So I get paid bi-weekly from my part-time job, and I divide that up amongst week 1 and week 2, and then my second paycheck I divide up amongst week 3 and week 4. My weeks are not the same as most cash stuffers who I see because the way my pays work, it's always the Friday a week before the end of the month or the Friday a week after the beginning of the month. So my week 1 is normally everybody else's week 4 from the previous month. Sorry if that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me, so that's what's important. So how I decided to work my binders was when I get paid on the 20th of each month from family allowance, I take $100. It used to be $100, but now it's $140 because we've paid off a bill that we no longer have to pay. So I get $140 each week. Or sorry, $140 on the 20th of the month, which I divide up amongst my week 1 to week 4. So it gives me an additional $35 extra to stuff every week. So, and then because I also do side hustles, and then my husband also gives me some money for this, I basically try to divide it up amongst my 4 weeks so I can do weekly cash stuffings. Oh, that was a long-winded sentence. Anyway, so this is my week 1, which is currently empty because I'm on week 3. This is my week 2. This is my week 3, which is the one I'm going to be stuffing later today, not in this video, in a later video. And then this is my week 4. So this is money that I already have set aside for next week's cash stuffing. There will be more money going in here, but that's just what's in there for now. This is my Etsy account. I do have an Etsy shop that I've just recently opened. I haven't received my first paycheck from them yet, so, but that's what this envelope is for. This is my back to bank envelope, which of course you guys all know what that is. As I pay things and the money needs to go back into the bank, that's just where I put it. So that is all that this binder is just basically where I store money that I'm not currently using. And then my second binder, I guess I'll do I'll do this one. Okay, so this is my variable sinking funds, which is just the money that is going to go up and down every month. I'm constantly dipping into these envelopes for various reasons. So first one is birthday gifts. So what I basically did was I took all of my children, my grandchildren, our parents, my spouse, and what I did was I just kind of totaled up what the budget was that we usually spend on each other and on others throughout the year, and then divided that up amongst 52 weeks. Actually, for me, 46 weeks, because I started budgeting February 1st, not January 1st. So that's what this is. So I have to put $17 into this envelope every single week. I try to put a little bit more just to stay ahead. But yeah, so I put $20 in this every week. This is Abigail. She is my youngest. Again, she's 7. So this envelope is just because I like to give her a couple bucks a week, usually $5, just for things like school lunches, if she wants like a Kinder Egg at the store, things like that. So that's what this money is for. And also recently, I think that we're rubbing off on her a little bit, because recently she's been wanting to sell toys that she doesn't use anymore. And so that money's been going in here. So she did that a couple of times and saved up the money to buy herself a head wig. So I was very proud of her for that. And it was expensive too. It wasn't cheap. So it's currently empty because she literally emptied this, as well as some of her savings that she has upstairs, and to buy her head wig. But anyway, I thought that was cute. So she's down to $1. That's all she has left in here. This is Andrew. He is my son. He just recently, through no fault of his own, lost his job. And so he starts a new job in May. But this is just an envelope that I started just so I can help him out a little bit between now and then with spending money, things like that. This is our cats. We have 3 cats. I think I mentioned that already. We adopted one. It was a feral that was just hanging around our yard, and she was basically starving to death. And then we realized we were trying to lure her in, but she was just so terrified. And then we realized she was pregnant. So I stepped that up because we were coming up on winter, and I did not want, her outside having babies in our yard in the wintertime. And if they manage to survive, have, a dozen feral cats running around in a year. So my intention was to adopt her. Well, not adopt her, foster her, bring her in, and help her safely give birth to her kittens, and then fix her and rehome her. However, that was 4 years ago, and she's still here. So, as well as one of her litter we kept as well. Fixed them both, adopted out all the other kittens under the condition to the adoptees, the people who were adopting them, that they fix them. And all of them did except for one. And of course, that cat ended up pregnant. So what I ended up doing was adopting one of that litter, which is my Miss Kitty, the mom. Miss Kitty, she is this one's grandmother. So we have the grandmother, the daughter, and the nephew or grandson. So they are Miss Kitty, Smokey is the daughter, and Mickey, as in Mickey Mouse, is the baby. So that's our 3 cats. Family time. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. So this envelope is just for, not so much in the winter. We don't do a lot out here in the winter time, but we do like to take my daughter to the zoo, Tinkertown, which is kind of like a summer-long fair that they have in the city. So we like to take her there a couple times a year. So that's what this is just savings for us to do things like that together once winter's done. Household. Originally, I started this envelope with the intention of doing things like for paper towels, whatever, house cleaning stuff. But we buy most of that out of our groceries. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do with this envelope now, but I am going to keep it. There are a few things maybe for, buying around the house, things that we might need down the road, furniture-wise, or aesthetically. So I'm going to keep it. So I stuff it, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Septic. So again, we live rurally. We're not hooked up to any kind of city plumbing or any kind of water system or sewer system. So we have a well, which is what provides us with our water. And then we have a septic tank, which needs to be emptied every 2.5 to 3 months, which costs $120. So that's what this is for. I put $10 a week in here just so we have it whenever we need it. Home renos. So during COVID, I did like a facelift on my kitchen, just because, you know, we were all out of work, had tons of time to spare. So I did this little facelift. And then once we went back to work, I ran out of time and money and was not able to finish it. So I still need to do the floors in the kitchen. The rest of it is done. It just needs the floors done. So that's what this is for. Currently, there's a $100 Amazon gift card in here. And I just won a $50 Amazon gift card at work. So that's going to go in here as well, which is about halfway to paying for the floors. Next is my car. My car is 10 years old. It is running on its last leg, I think, at this point. So this was supposed to be for car maintenance, but I'm thinking now I'm probably just going to save money for a new car. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen there. Social media. So when I started this little venture of cash stuffing, at first I was doing really well, where I had, you know, planned ahead and all of that and got ready for it. And then, you know, I started off by buying 2 binders, the blue one and this purple one. And then, you know, I saw this binder and absolutely had to have it. And then I saw like this piggy bank and absolutely had to have it. And oh my gosh, next thing you know, I'm like every single week, this desktop thing. Every week I was receiving stuff from Amazon and from Etsy for budgeting. And I was like, I'm spending half of my budgeting budget on budgeting. So anyway, I have now stopped doing that. I have decided that I need to rein it in and no more spending money on budgeting unless I have it up front. So I do set aside a few dollars in here each week so that if something really cute comes up that I absolutely have to have, that's what this is for. So that there ends my variable sinking funds. And my next binder, which is also my favorite binder, is this one. Excuse me, I'm going to pause you so I can clear my throat. Okay, so this binder is the reason I started cash stuffing. So I'm going to try to tell this story as short as possible, but it can be, and I can be a little long-winded. So like most people, or many people in today's society, I suffer from anxiety. Honestly, I think it's just a thing of the times. But I can't handle debt. Like debt absolutely eats away at me. Like I can't sleep. I have anxiety attacks. I can't handle debt. So for me, moving in here, when I first moved in here, we had to renovate. We had to build basically the entire upstairs onto this house in order to accommodate my son and our daughter who was on her way at the time. And so that put us significantly in debt. And then we were in the process of paying that off, and our septic tank collapsed. So anybody who knows anything about septic tanks knows that that is a huge, huge deal. It's not something that can be left for months on end. You can't just go dig yourself an outhouse and go. The city does not allow that. The RM where we live does not allow that. And they literally gave us 30 days to fix it, or we had to vacate until it was fixed. We weren't allowed to live here because it wasn't, I guess, safe. I don't know if it's because of like methane gases or why, but they gave us 30 days to fix it, or we would have to leave. And this is owned property. My husband owns it. And so anyway, so I keep saying husband, and this is like my third try doing this video, so I need to clarify, we are common law. I always call him my husband, but we are common law. Anyway, so they gave us a deadline in order to get it fixed, and the bank would only loan us a very small portion, about a third of what we needed to fix it. And thankfully, thankfully, a family member on my husband's side um, called us out of the blue one day and said, "What are you doing? Like, why would you not tell us this?" And they just gave us the money. Now, while eternally grateful for it, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was so stressed about the fact that we owed this massive amount of money. It's one thing to owe to a credit card or a bank, but owing to family is just, I can't handle it. So I literally put every single thing I had into paying them back, like right away. And we did. We paid them back in, I can't remember, but it was short. It was like under 6 months. We had them fully paid back, and it was like, but at the expense of everything else in order to pay it back. Anyway, so now here we are, a couple years later. We don't owe family members anymore. We just owe to the bank. But while our debt is not huge, I just can't handle debt. So I pay probably about, I would say 3.5, maybe 4 times the minimum payment on our debt just to get it paid. But in doing that, as much as it pays off our debt quickly, at the same time, it's at the expense of everything else. And I was okay with that for a few years, but all of a sudden last year, I just went, what the hell? We both work hard. He works full time. I work part time. We both have side gigs, like side jobs, side hustles, things that we do on the side to make extra money. And somehow our friends are jetting off here and jetting off there, and they work for the same company we do. They make the same amount of money we do, and in some cases less. And I'm like, why is it that everybody else can go to all these wonderful places and we've never left the province? Well, no, that's not true. We do like the neighboring province, but that's it. And so I took on a side job. I started doing DoorDash and Instacart to save money for Disney, because I've been to Disney once. I took my son when he was 12. Um, and I swore I was going back. And as my daughter, who's currently 7, gets older, I really, really, really want to take her to Disney. And I want to go to Disney. I work hard. We work hard. We deserve a vacation. And but I just can't. I could just do minimum payments on my credit cards, not mine, on our credit cards and debt, and go to Disney, and that be fine. But I just can't do that either. I just can't. I've tried to talk myself into it, but I can't do it. So it required me getting a second job. So I did. And then I couldn't figure it out. I still had no money. I was like, well, where's all this money? Like, I'm getting paid, but I have no money. Tap, 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 tap. And that's what was happening. I commute an hour into work at both of my jobs, at my part-time job and my side gig. And so most of my money was going on fuel. The rest of my money had to go into taxes, because of course I'm not taxed on that money. So I had to pay it independently. And then with the little bit that was left over, it was buying like Popeyes and Tim Hortons coffee, and which I don't even like. So I don't know why I was buying it. But anyway, um, it was just coming in and out, and there was still no savings. And I just threw my hands up in the air and said, I give up. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I killing myself to work this extra job? And I have no extra money. Like, there's no point. So it discouraged me. And then one day in October, I was watching YouTube, and for some reason, this video showed up in my newsfeed, or in my video feed, and it was baddies and budgets. And I was like, what the heck is this? So I turned it on and started watching it, and I almost shut it off. And honestly, the only thing that kept me watching was her nails, because they were like this long and they had pom-poms on the end. And I thought, what kind of a crazy person is this? And I started watching it. And then I kept watching, and she's stuffing, like she's doing cash stuffing, and she's stuffing like $2,000 or $3,000 in her envelope. And then she mentions that she does this weekly. And I'm going, how the heck does she have enough money to stuff $2,000 or $3,000 each week? I watched the whole video. In that video, she multiple times talked about, back when she first started cash stuffing and things like that. So I went back to her very first video and I started binge watching her videos. And it was crazy to me, the progress that she had made in such a short amount of time. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. This is what I need to do, because I know that my money is disappearing, because I know the money's in the bank, so I just, tap, and you spend $2 here and $3 there, but you forget to add up. So I would go and make, 6 or 7 small purchases every single day, and I'm only remembering making 2 or 3 purchases, and then all of a sudden my bank account's empty. And this was the solution to that. So I decided that I was going to start cash stuffing my way to Disney, and that's what I'm doing. So I won't do a debt thing on here, and I'm not cash stuffing for debt because I already put enough of my income into debt every month. I am cash stuffing so that I can go to Disney. It's literally my reason. So anyway, so that's what this binder is. This is me, and thank you very much from Jasmine at Baddies and Budgets, because she's the one who introduced me to this. The next cash stuffer I'm going to mention is the one who is responsible for this particular binder. So, oh no, off the top of my head, I can't remember her name, Michelle. So Michelle from Yorkshire Budgets, who has been gone for a while, so I hope she's okay. But anyway, I started watching her cash stuffing videos as I watched, by the time I actually started myself, I think I'm subscribed to 50 different channels. But she was doing things differently than other people at that time, where she had taken all of the money that she knows has to go out every single year and dividing that up into envelopes and then snowballing it the way that you would a debt. So this is my annual snowball binder. So I started cash stuffing February 1st, and my first envelope that I was doing in my snowball was my bills. So this bills envelope is just our subscriptions. So I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but I do have a second YouTube channel. So I have editing program that I have to have every single year. So I pay for that. And then I also pay for my antivirus for my computer. We pay for Microsoft. So we have Word and Excel. That's for my husband's side business. And then we have ABC Mouse for my daughter, things like that. So annual subscriptions. So I added up, I went through last year's bank statements, added up all of the subscriptions, how much they were, what dates they were coming out. And that's what this envelope is for. And then besides that, we have our vacation envelope. I should say this one here is fully funded. That's why it's at the back, because it is fully funded. So what I did was took all of our expenses that we would have for the entire year that we know we're going to have, put them in this binder, divided that up amongst 46 weeks, because I was cash stuffing starting February 1st. So I could take off 4 weeks from the year for that, that I would need to catch up. And then also because I want it finished by December 15th, I put it down to 46 weeks. So I took all of the annual stuff, divided it up amongst 46 weeks, and came up with $52 a week is what I need to put in these envelopes. So I did that with the bills until it was fully funded. And then the next one that I'm doing is my vacation fund. So what this is we go visit family members of my husband's who live in way up in north of the province that we live in, and we go visit them every July. So we go for about 5 days. It's not an expensive trip because we stay with them and we eat there and all of that, but we do have to pay to get there and pay to get home. Just travel expenses. We drive, but there's fuel, things like that. So in our case, charging, we drive electric, so we charge on the way out, and then eating and that sort of thing. And then we always buy dinner for them on the first night that we arrive. And then his aunt and I go out for one night. We go to the casino. So that's what this is anyway. So it's $250 that I have budgeted for our 5-day stay up north in July. Camping. So we go camping. We try to go once a year. Last year we went twice and we had a really good time. So this year I budgeted 2 camping trips, so $500. If we only get to go once, then that's great. I'll have $250 extra dollars, and then that will just go on to the next envelope that I'm snowballing at that time. But that's our camping envelope. Back to school. So this is, obviously for school clothes and school supplies for my daughter. So this is going to be $250 once we start stuffing it. Christmas. I have under budgeted Christmas, and I know that I under budgeted Christmas. We usually spend way more than we should at Christmas time, like way more than we should at Christmas time. But I have budgeted $1,500 for Christmas this year in the hopes that we at least try to stay a little in budget. But that's what I've budgeted for Christmas this year. And again, none of these envelopes are stuffed except for the last one and this first one. As I finish this one, then I will put it toward the back and work on this one, and then just keep going until I get to the end of the year, which is Christmas. Okay, next is my favorite envelope, this one. The reason I started doing this to start with. So this is my Disney envelope. I put $40 in here every single week to go to Disney with. And then also I have various challenges. Almost all of them are for Disney or Disney related. But that's the whole reason I'm doing this, is for this envelope right here. It eventually will probably have its own binder, but we're not going to Disney until 2024. But I'm going to book it this coming June. I think once you book it, you have 499 days to pay it off. So I'm just going to go and book it, and then we're in. There's no turning back. If I have to sell a kidney to go to Disney, that's what we're going to do. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but that's what this envelope is for. Anyway, and then this again is my fully funded bills envelope. Next is, this is just a tracker for my spending envelope. Now this envelope doesn't have any specific job. It's just my envelope. I put money in here. I would imagine I'm probably going to just save this money for Disney, but I just give myself and my spouse, my partner, a few bucks every week, just in case something comes up that we want. So this is mine. I don't even have $50 in here, so I don't even have enough to fill out the first dot on my tracker. So I may have to consider a smaller tracker just so I can see something progressing in there. Same thing with him. He doesn't yet have $50 to fill out the first circle, and I've been stuffing these for like 5 weeks, so you can tell I don't give us a whole lot of money. So this is Tyson. This is my partner, who's very supportive of this. He's actually the reason I started this channel. I had intentions of starting this channel back in October. I had planned to start it January 1st, but I've been planning for it since October. But stuff came up. I got very, very ill. I was very ill for a little over a month. So then I went a long period. In January, I didn't get paid at all because I was sick all of December. And anyway, so then I kind of chickened out. I'm not really sure why, but I guess because I came in late or started late, I just chickened out and I stopped. I just had no plans to do the channel. I had made the channel, created the channel for the purpose of doing my own budgeting channel, and then I just didn't. So here I am. And that's because he was like, what are you talking about? Of course you're doing a YouTube channel. So here I am. That's Tyson. And then this is my last one, which I am not going to have an emergency fund. It's not that I don't, I mean, you know, I understand the concept of it. I get why people do it. But for me, my emergency fund is the credit card. If something major happens when you live out at a place like this, it is not going to cost $1,000. It's not going to cost $3,000. It's going to cost over $10,000. That's just the way it is when you live the way that we live out here. So there is no point in having an emergency fund. For me, having the available space on credit, whether that be credit with the bank or credit on a card or whatever, is more important to me than having physical cash sitting around and calling it an emergency fund. Because if I had $1,000 sitting in an emergency fund, I wouldn't be able to sleep because I'd be like, that money could be sitting in the bank, not collecting interest. So until my credit cards are paid off, there's not going to be an emergency fund. I do have an oh shit fund. Now this does not have a set amount. If it gets to 1,000, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. It was just at $45, I think, and something came up. My son lost his job, and I needed to help him out with some stuff. So I took it out of here because that's what it's for. So it's not ever going to have a specific amount. It's just my oh no, I need something this month. So that's what this envelope is for. Anyway, so that is my Mickey binder. It's my favorite one. And then next is my challenges binder. So this binder I thought was silly. So when I would see people doing all these challenges where they're, filling out this little thing here for $5 and then going to the next challenge and filling out one for $3, I was like, why would you not just, take your $8 and put it in one spot? But I get it. I get it now. When you fill out these little things, it is so satisfying, and there's just something to be said about progress and seeing your progress on paper. And now I'm addicted to challenges. So I guess I will start with this challenge, actually, because this is the one that I'll be doing first on the day that I do my challenges. So this challenge is mine. I started this one. It's called Life's Getting Dicey. Now, I just finished saying I'm not doing an emergency fund. This is a challenge that I created for an emergency fund and not for me, for other people. I had planned it for Etsy. I thought it was a great idea. But then when I made it, I was like, I totally want to do this challenge, but yet I totally don't want to have an emergency fund. So I'm going to do this challenge. But when I do, I'm not going to explain anything about what it is right now on this video. I'll explain it when I do my challenge video. But I am going to do this challenge. It does save $1,000. However, I'm going to do it and probably take that $1,000 and just put it in my Disney fund. But I do want to see how quickly I can finish this. So this is the first one, which I haven't even started it yet. I wanted to wait until I started doing a video before I started it. So that's this one. And then I have, of course, a penny challenge, because everybody has a penny challenge. However, my penny challenge is monthly, because I didn't want to get bored of filling out the same card for 365 days. Also, I live in Canada and we don't have pennies, so I didn't want to have to do the rounding up and rounding down constantly. I'm used to it. It's literally the way we live here now. But I wanted something that was Canadian, that wasn't pennies, that didn't have pennies. So I actually asked my daughter, before I knew anything about Canva and all of that, and how to make my own trackers and my own challenges, I asked my daughter to make me this. So she did. And basically, it's the penny challenge divided up monthly. And it's all in, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's all like 70 cents. I don't know if it's in focus, but it's like 70, 70, 70, 70, and then it goes to 75, and then 75, and 75, and 75, and so on and so forth. So I do this one. Now I do this one every single day. I don't wait and do it weekly when I do my cash stuffing. I do it every day, only because there's just something about getting up in the morning and doing it that makes me remember that I'm doing something, that I'm trying to do something, any small thing to help us get there, to wherever there is, out of debt, to Disney, to many of the other places that he and I would love to go and love to bring our kids and grandkids. So this is just my daily reminder that I'm doing something, and I can't believe how fulfilling it is. It's absolutely crazy to me, to the point of I get emotional about it. But anyway, this is my March one. I'm also doing my December one at the same time, because I'm very aware that in December, oh, what's going on here? That in December, it's like $3.65 a day. There is no way I'm going to have $3.65 a day in loonies and toonies or coins in general for an entire week. I mean, it's like $25 a week. There's just no way I'm going to have it. So what I do now is every single time this jar gets 3 loonies, I do a day in December. And once this is done, I'll move on to November. And then when the time comes for me to get, like once December comes and I start filling this out, I only have to do it on Fridays. I will literally only have to do it every Friday, one stocking each Friday. And then I'm basically stuffing pretty much the same amount as I stuff right now. Okay, So that is my monthly challenge. This is not available anywhere in case anybody asks. I'm sorry. My daughter just made this for me. She does have an Etsy shop, but she doesn't do budgeting. So I don't think she's going to sell it. But if she does, I'll leave a link in the description below, but I don't believe that she's planning to. And then this is my Toodles challenge. Any challenges that you see on here, they will be linked in my description below because, like in the case of this one, I cannot remember the name of the girl who created this challenge, and it's my favorite, and I can't remember her name. So I will link it down in the description. I'll look it up after the video. So this is my Toodles challenge, and it's a place for me to put my toonies because we're Canadian. We don't have $1 bills or $2 bills. But we do have an abundance of toonies. So this is where I put my toonies. And then once I'm done this whole page, it will total $100. And then I will be able to fill out one Minnie or Mickey on the back. And when this whole thing is done, it's $2,000. And then this one here is my $5 challenge. So I just basically, what I forgot to mention with this one is these toonies come out of my wallet. So when I stuff my wallet at the beginning of the week, whatever's left at the end of the week, any toonies or loonies go into this, toonies go into this challenge, sorry. And then my $5 bills go into this challenge. And then all my loonies I throw into this jar. And I use that for my penny challenge daily whenever I get around to it during the day. So this one, I actually have 3 trackers in here. They are all $5 trackers. But to mix things up, I just don't fill out one. I fill out all 3. So that is my $5 bills. This one is spring, which I haven't started yet. Oh, I just remembered I did my budget today, and I don't think that I budgeted this in. So I may need to rethink something with this. But anyway, this is my spring challenge. This is, I made this, and it's just for me to save a little bit of money each season, but not so much money that it's not affordable. And likely, probably for Disney. And then this one, I love this one. I can't remember her name. I definitely will link it below. After I started doing cash stuffing, my daughter approached me and said, "Hey, Mom, why don't you start an envelope for Salem?" Because she really wants to go to Salem. So, I mean, I do too, but she really wants to go. So I told her that the only way that I would do it is if she did it. And so I came across this challenge on Etsy. I absolutely love it. Okay, it's a tarot challenge, and I will link it in the description below. I did do a chop job on her challenge. This is supposed to be an envelope, but I cut it up and used it as a dashboard for my envelopes. So it was actually 3 challenges in one. I'm doing 2 of them at the moment. So this one, I think it's this one. Yeah. So this one, you just roll a dice. You roll 1 die, and then whatever the amount is on the die, you put it, it's a 9-sided, or 9 or 12, 9-sided dice. Whatever you roll, you put it in the envelope, and that's your total. So I do this one, but how I come up with the money for this is after I stuff my wallet for my weekly spending, I do this challenge. So this money comes out of either my personal money or my takeout money that I have for the week. So if I give myself $20 and I roll a 9, that leaves me $11 spending money through the week, which is good because I don't use that money usually now anyway. So so I have that one. And then the next one is another tarot savings challenge, but this one is tarot cards. So you pull a tarot card, and it comes with this little key, and it tells you how much the value of that card is, and whatever the value of that card is, you put it in your envelope. So they're doing really well, and like this one has saved $37 in just 2 weeks. So that's absolutely crazy. So this is the tarot cards I've used already, so I didn't want to put them back in here in the envelope. I'm sorry, I'm talking really fast. It's because I'm freezing. I'm absolutely freezing. I might have to go put a sweater on. It's making me chilly, and I think my voice is starting to quiver because I'm so cold. Anyway, this is my January of my penny challenge, or in our case, nickel challenge. This is my January fully done, and February fully done. And then that's April coming up, and that's all that's left in here is just my penny challenge, the ones that I haven't done or the ones I've completed. And that's it. I think that is it for all my binders. I've done it. Okay, so this is just coin. Like I said, that myself, my son, and Tyson, my husband, we all just drop our change in there through the week. And then I use that mostly for the penny challenge. But when I'm doing my cash unstuffing, I also take any loonies, or not loonies, sorry, toonies out of here. And I put those towards my Toodles challenge. This one is where all of the penny challenge money goes. My daughter made me this. She actually made one for my youngest daughter last year toward her Disney savings. And then I was very jealous. And I said, well, can I have one? So she made me one. So that is my piggy bank. It's very full already. So I need to empty that, take it in. And then this, I'm not really sure which one, but one of us kids, like my siblings or myself, bought this for my mother at a yard sale when we were kids. She didn't have a lot of money, and we were very sad that we couldn't buy her something for Mother's Day. So she gave us each a couple of bucks, and we went yard sailing, and one of us picked her up this for Mother's Day. So this thing is very old, at least 40 years old. And yeah, it's very cool. So anyway, I saw it in her medicine cabinet a few weeks ago when I was at her house, or not her medicine cabinet, sorry, her china cabinet a few weeks ago when I was at her house. And I went, oh my God, can I have that? And she was like, yeah, take it. So I have it. So this is what I use for my Toonie challenge, and I absolutely love it. It's just so appropriate. Anyway, that's it. So that is it for my introduction video. I'm sorry if oh my God, it's 41 minutes long. I'm so sorry. I will try to edit out some of it at least to make it a little bit shorter, but I'm very long-winded. Anyway, so I'm going to end this here then, because 41 minutes is just way too long. Thank you very, very much if you've made it to here. And I hope you subscribe and like this video. And right after this, I'll be filming my first cash unstuffing, and then that will be immediately followed by my first cash stuffing video. So they'll all be going up in the next couple of days on my channel. And that's it. So again, thank you everybody for watching. If you've watched, if you've liked and subscribed, double thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.